Thank you, Vina. Let's get started. So today, we are going to discuss, just come out from that particular mode that I'm going to ask the questions. No, so today I'll just continue the session. I'll ask you on the breaks. Okay, let's get started here. The topic which we're going to discuss is we wanted to talk, means the pending items which we wanted to take it up is the test plan, and then the test estimations, and then the RTM. So these are the most important thing which we wanted to take care from today. Okay, what is a test plan? Okay, guys, once again, I'm saying that come out from that particular mode that I'm going to ask you questions, not that today. So I'll ask you the questions in the breaks and then tomorrow. So just continue on the session now. Coming back to the test plan, what is a test plan and how we are going to create a test plan, or what is the content in the test plans? In the usually, the people will ask you in the interview saying that, hey, can you tell me what are the things are there in the test plan, or what is the purpose of the test plan? The people used to ask this one. Okay, first of all, we need to understand what is a test plan, and then we will understand what are the contents of the test plan. So the first thing is what and what is a test plan here, and what would be the content of this particular test plan, and how these things will go on. So these are two topics which we are going to cover it up. Now, when it comes to the test plan, I'll come to test plan before. Now, first of all, we need to understand what means from where this particular test plan is born. So that particular thing we need to understand, right? Now, we do have different teams in the organization. One is QA and then QC, right? Quality assurance, not analyst. So quality control, quality analyst, and then test analyst. So these are the different pictures. Now here, this is quality assurance team. Now from the quality assurance team, so these people will be deriving the test strategy. And once this particular test strategy is derived from the test strategy, the test plans are derived. Okay, now what is this particular test strategy and what is this particular test plan? And hope you guys are remember that. I don't want to ask you the question. I just directly give the answer here. Quality assurance. Now, these are the people who are at the organization level, and they will define the terms and conditions and the standards of the testing and all the testing governances, testing practices, everything would be derived by this particular set of people. So this they derive across the organization, not for a particular project. But now, whereas the test plan would be derived for a particular projects. Example, now you take Cognizant, which is CTS or Infosys or Wipro, whatever the companies are there. They will be working on the different domains, right? What do you mean by domain? It means, for an example, if I'm working for the retail. So retail means, for an example, Flipkart is a retailer. Means you are going to buy directly from the vendors. So now these are called the retail domains. Now healthcare domains, HR domains, telecom domains. Like we do have different domains out there. HR domains is nothing but now you do have the interview system. For an example, now you guys have been taken the online assessment. In that particular assessment, even if you turn your head or if you have been done, so it will be completely capture your video and audio. Means that's a video protracting, audio protracting, and then if you talk to someone or if you try to copy and paste something from any website, everything would be captured. So those are called the means violations and then capturing. Like this, these are many tools are available in the market. Now the tool which you use for your examination is Zubin. So now the same way we do have Metal and we do have Hacker Earth, Hacker Rank. There are multiple tools. So those all things are belongs to the HR domain, health domain. All your hospital cares like Apollo or Medicity. So now these hospitals, building systems and all things, those will be falling into the healthcare. So like this, we do have different domains available for this. Now, for testing the different domains, we need to have to create a test strategy. So for every domain, later on we will be deriving. But first, from this means the base code, first we will derive the test strategy. And according to this particular test strategy, for the domains also this can be classified. Hey, retail practice, how I need to test this, and healthcare domain, how I need to test it, and HR domain, how I need to test it. So here also we will be having the test strategies. Means domain-based test strategies also will be there. But holistically, it depends upon the company to company. They might have the holistic test strategy, and domain-based test strategies. And now in this particular retail base, now for an example, I have project 1, project 2, project 3, and project 4. Now I have different projects here. So now when I have this different projects, for every project, I'll be having the test plan. So now what you need to understand is test plan is a derivation of your test strategy. So test strategy is a mother document. From the test strategy or document, we are going to derive the test plans. So this is what you guys need to understand. So, and who prepares this particular test plan? Quality control people will be preparing the test plan. How they will prepare this test plan? They will derive the test plan from the test strategy. So this is how this particular test plan would be derived from the test strategies. Okay, what I'll be having in this particular test strategy? What I'll be having in the test plan? Test plan, anyways, we are going to discuss here. What you will be having in the test strategy? See, now in this particular test strategies, the people will be saying that, hey, follow these particular best practices, the governances, the testing practices, and this is how you need to test it. These are the different type of testings you need to do it. And when you have a retail domain, so you need to test this. Means in the retail domain, what things will be having? Example, take the Flipkart. What are the basic things we'll be having it? Hey, we will be having some crores and crores of products we'll be having it. So the product level information. So need to test it in this way. And we will be having OMS. OMS means order management system. For an example, now you have placed an order. So now once the order you have been placed, how that particular order would be done. So now for an example, you placed one particular order. So you wanted to order some perfume. So now when you order that particular perfume, so that it would be in an ordered confirmed status. Once it confirmed, then it went to the merchant status. From the merchant, it ordered started to pack, and then it is to depot. And from there, it will come to the respective city. And from the city, it went for the out, and then it reached. So order delivered. So now you have that particular different phases, right? You will be seeing in the tracking system. So that is what the OMS system. So like this app, we have been domained. Okay, you need to test this one like this, test this one like this. That's how the strategy will be defined. So now this strategy can be applicable for any things. And always remember one particular pointer, guys. When you're writing a particular test cases, always you remember that you should have the functional knowledge and then from the technical knowledge also. Then only the coverage would be in a right manner. I didn't understand this particular point, but repeat it again. Functional knowledge is nothing but like this. Hey, retail domain. What is the particular retail domain? In the retail domain, the merchant would means the vendors and the customers will be having a same platform. So now that is we need to understand that how to place how to see a product and how to place an order, and all these things would be part of the functional knowledge. And technical knowledge is, hey, for an example, if it is an UI test case, now what are the things I need to write it? Means what are the basic validations or the validation test cases which I need to write it. So those all things we need to write it over here and keep this functionalities also together. And based upon these two, the test coverage would be derived. What do you mean by test coverage? Actually, when you talk about RTM is nothing but requirement traceability matrix. Nowadays, the people are not using that, but that's a really a great one to understand and derive the test coverage. Why the people having more number of bugs in their particular cases? They're not following their respective standards. If they have been followed their particular respective standards, they will not end up into this particular stage. So the test coverage is an area where, see, the coverage means what are the areas which you didn't test it. So that if you didn't test it means what is the resultant factor for that? You will get bugs. So if you test it, you will be identified. If you don't test it something, how? See, for an example, you will be saying that test drive your vehicle. It means that you have given it for a repair. Consider that my brakes are not working. Okay, so that you've given your vehicle to the mechanic. Mechanic said that I have been done. Then you pay blindly and then take the vehicle. First you do a test drive. Once again you do the test drive and you'll say that, hey, these brakes are very hard. Can you loosen this one? So then he will try to loosen it. And he'll say that, hey, brakes are not falling well. So can you recheck once again? So once again he will recheck. So always it is better to, without testing that, and if you've taken it, once again you'll come back to the mechanic shop. So always you remember that the test coverage is more important. the test coverage gives you the information that, hey, your application is properly tested or not. To what level of extent you have been tested your application, that is what you need to test it out. So that is what it talks about the test coverage. However, we go to the details. Now, this is how these all informations would be written into this particular test strategy document. Hey, you go test this all, and then you need to prepare this one. See, test strategy is out of scope for our discussion because always test strategies are at a higher level. So for us now, if we understand what is a test plan, that would be enough for us. So now, if someone asks you what is the difference between a test strategy and a test plan, then you can give them the answer saying that, hey, test strategy is a mother document of the test plan. At a entity level or at a domain level, we will be having the test strategy. So now test strategy will have the testing practices, governances, and what are the different type of testings, or all these things will be derived across the organization level in the test strategy. Whereas the test plan will be derived for a particular project. And the remaining part of the test plan, we are going to discuss now. So this is how the test plan is born and then come to the picture. Got it? Any questions here? No. Now, next one is, what is test plan? For an example, I remember that I given the same example, but still I'll talk about the same. I wanted to go for a trip. Okay, I wanted to go for some place, Fifi Island. So one of the beautiful place. So we just wanted to go for that Fifi Islands. Okay, this is in Phuket, near to Thailand. So into this country. So I just wanted to go. What I'll immediately try to do. So first I'll try to prepare a plan. When I should go. So what are the flights available? First I'll try to get my dates, and then I'll try to, after the dates, then I'll check my flight tickets, which is the best airlines, which is a cheaper and the best airlines, which I can reach out there. So now once how I need to go to that particular island, and then what are the things I need to pack up? For an example, first I wanted to make the flight tickets, and then I need to make my cabs, and then my hotels, and then once after this one, what are the things I need to take? Oh, this is completely, I'm going for the beach size, right? So I need to wear the beach wears, and then I need to take some precautionary medicines, and then whatever the things I wanted to have it. So I'll make a particular checklist. So what you're trying to do now, is this good, or directly go to the airport, book some flight ticket, go there. I don't know where to go. Once I landed in the airport, I don't have my cab. I don't have my hotels booked already. I don't know what are the places I need to visit there. I don't have the proper ways to have it. And I don't have the precautionary medicines, which if it is really required. And I don't know about the geography of that particular place. So which one is better, the option number 1 or option number 2?
Option number one.
Because we know that what we are going to do, and we know that how we are going to do. What are the things I need to do? Everything I have a perfect plan. The second option, I don't have the plan. Now the same thing even in the testing also. Now you tell me, am I planning before going to the trip, or am I planning in the middle of the trip, or am I planning after completion of the trip?
Before going to trip.
So now whenever we are going before, means before you start anything, you're going to prepare your test plan. See now the answer of when we are going to prepare the test plan. So we are going to prepare the test plan before starting all your testing. Now, what are the things we are going to have it? And the test plan, actually, this is one of the test strategy which I prepared long back in 2014. So this particular test plan, test strategy, I'll not go through the each and every details because this is a confidential document. But just give me 1 second. I'll remove one thing and then I'll share the screen. Guys, can you please go on mute? So now if you see here, okay, 1 second. Okay, let me okay, so now this is what one of the means test strategy and equivalent means the test strategy and test plan would be almost all equivalent because test strategy will have the complete set of information. The test plan is a subset of this particular information, right? Now, when you have that particular subset, means for example, it's 100% documentation in the test strategy, but the test plan will consist of 80% because whatever it is specific required to that particular project, we will be getting that particular information. Okay, so now always you remember that there are certain standards. So when we create a particular test plan, there is a standard which is from the IEEE. So now if you go here and then search IEEE test plan template. So now if you see here, now this is what we will be having this one. So now according to the standards of IEEE 829, the test plan document would be created. This is one of the best standards which you need to create at a particular test plan. Now, hope you guys know about what is IEEE, right? You guys know what is IEEE, right? So now this is an Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, one of the top most institute across the globe. And these guys will define the standards of the documents or standard approaches in testing or developing or creating something. So now that particular standard, according to this particular IEEE standards, so we have been created the test plan document, which is 829 standard document we have been created. Okay, in this one, what are the things we will be having for this? So the first thing is background. So now, first of all, you means now you wanted to tell a story. I don't know how many people has been watched the movie Triple R. Now, when he wanted to explain the story, first he will say that, hey, what is a background? Now a girl, she will be taken by the British, and then this hero will go and chase, and then he will search for the girl, and he wanted to bring back that small girl back to the community. So this is what the complete storyline, right? So now the first introduction itself, they will give the background, what it happens. So that is what the background of the story, right? Now overview. So now if you see here, in the overview, but actually the background is the title, and then that particular background would be defined in the overview. Hey, this is what the project is about, and in this particular project, so now we are going to do this is a basic information. So now we are going to test this particular jurisdiction, and for an example, I'll take. This is one of the topmost investment banking. So for this particular investment banking, so in which jurisdictions they are going to test this one, and which area they are going to test, which countries they are going to test. So that information will be having in the overview. So now let's okay, I'll give you first high level, and then I'll go to the details. Now this is the background. Under the background, we'll have the overview, purpose. Purpose means what is the purpose of this particular document, and intended audience for whom this particular document would belongs to, and what are the reference document for preparation of this particular document. What are the reference documents we have been done, and what is the revision history? So now when we have been changed this particular documents, now what is this particular version of document? 0.9 means there is this 0.9 means this is the initial version documents. So now we have been done 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 9th document. So now what are the changes which we have been changed in that particular each revision, and who reviewed this particular document, and who are the owners, the testing phase owners, which is from the testing team. and V18. And actually, this is a test strategy, right? So we'll be having more and more information. Let me bring up some test plan documents so that it would be easy. Test summary report, evaluations. Somewhere else. See, I have the latest documents. I don't want her to show that latest. Okay, so this is another one of the documents. So even this is an old document. Now here, if you see here, this is what we are talking about, right? The overview. So now in this particular overview, we will be talking about, hey, what exactly this particular document belongs to. Means what we are trying to do, say that this is a test plan to describe the scope, approaches, means what we are going to get on this particular project. So that is where it was trying to inform or explain in the overview, means the background and what we are going to get in this particular document. Both the things will be mentioned into this particular overview. Okay, so now we have been talking the revision history and reviews. Why I'm not talking about this one is the previous document which I'm talking about it. It is very much detailed. So that's the reason I just wanted to work. So now if you see here in the background, I got the complete, for an example. So now I'm going to support for all these particular 9 countries. And what is the overview of this document? What is the purpose of this particular document? Say the purpose of this one is to upgrade the V9. CRTS, which is a Charles River trading system. So now one of the most costliest and most important application. So that application, so we wanted to upgrade to the latest version. And for who are the intended audience? So the intended audience are the business change, the technology team, and the testing team, development team, and the support team. And what are the documents which we have been referred for this one? So the documents we have been referred is these all documents which are related with the satellite application. Satellite applications is nothing but around the core system, there would be some other applications, right? So those applications are called as satellite applications. See, moon is a satellite. Around Earth, something is revolving, then we'll call that as a satellite. The same way, around this particular CRTS application, there would be multiple applications out there. So there will be there. So now those are the application level informations. And these are the master documents, and this is a SharePoint repository. And who are the people working on this? So now, so he is one of my team member. So he has been started to do this. So now, see now on version 1, version 2. So what are the changes we have been given it? So, and then I'm the one first who reviews this document, and then it will be going for my bosses. And then these all the people had the reviewers. Now, this is how this particular information would be there. The same thing, so which I will be showing in the test plan also. Give me 1 second. I think I have been open multiple documents. I'll just close. So now if you see here, so the same thing. So the background, overview, purpose, intended audience, and the revision history and the reviewer history. And once after the reviewer history, we will be completing this one. So now that's a very detailed level document, and this is a very short for one of this short project. So this is how the first section. So now the overview will be there. So overview will say that what exactly this particular document and why this particular document is what discussed in the purpose, and for whom this particular document. It talks for the intended audience. Revision history, what are the revisions we have been done, and what are the changes we made to the document, and the reviewer history, who are reviewing this particular document. So that is what we are going to talk in this particular documents. So any questions on this one till now? Any questions? In the background, overview, purpose, intended audience, and reference documents, revision history, reviewer histories.
Sir, in revision history means we will be having the application, we'll be studying the application, right, sir? We'll be having the details.
See, when you will prepare the test plan?
Before we'll going to implement.
Before we are going to test. See now, what is your SDLC? That is the reason, once again, we need to go back to the basics again. What is our SDLC? SDLC, software testing life
Testing
cycle.
life cycle.
Requirement gathering. Next,
Test plan,
analysis,
design and environment setup,
Coding,
execution, test execution,
test plan. Next,
Test design.
design,
test design means here, which is what the test cases and all the thing means. From here, the test TCLC will be coming into the picture. Once after this one,
environment setup,
test environment setup,
test
test
execution,
execution,
Test plan.
closure, test closure,
test results analysis, and test closure. Now you tell me, where is the test planning? So
Second
once
one.
after the requirement gathering and then analysis, then we'll do the test planning.
Test planning.
So now if you see here, now we know the requirement, we analyze the that particular requirements, then we are trying to create the test plan. So by this time, I know what to do. So now this test plan always gives how to do. So now these two phases will give me what to do, right? The scope would
Yes.
be derived from this. Now, how to do is what the test plan will talk about here. So now once you have the test plan, according to the test plan, then the test cases will be created. The tested design. In the tested design, the step number 1 is all the requirements will be converted into test scenarios, and test scenarios will be converted into the test cases. Now already you have been created the test cases.
Yes.
So now requirement gathering is nothing but, hey, once those people will come and then prepare the functional specifications in the older picture. Now in the latest agile, they will create the user stories. In the user stories, you will be deriving that requirements from the user stories, and according to that you will plan your tests. This is what planning. Always test plan will give you how you do this, how you execute them. This is what the test planning will give to us. Clear?
Okay.
Any more questions? See, all these are interlinked. Everything is interlinked. So now that is the reason first we talked from SDLC, how it related to the STLC, from the STLC, how it related to TCLC, and from TCLC, how it related to the BCLC and the ACLC. So this is this structures we need to understand. That's the reason, the basic things. Okay, any other questions? No questions? So the first section is about the overviews and these things we have been done. Next one is the most important thing is scope. Now what is this particular scope is? In this particular scope, I'll have two sections. One is in scope and then one is out scope. What you meant by in scope is, always you remember that in scope is nothing but what are the things which I'm going to test and what are the things I'm not going to test. So I'm very clearly mentioning this. Guys, you remember and mark my word, with this will save your testing people life. This one small section. Because any bug comes in the production, who is responsible and accountable for this? Everyone will point to the tester. Any bug, even if it is related to us, not related to us, simply they will say that because of tester didn't tested it properly, because of that in code. The BA might miss the requirements, and then the developer might do something mistake and everything, but it will not point out to the developers or the BS. Only the blamed persons or the blamed people are the QS. Because we are the gatekeepers, and when you allow the particular application into the production, then that is your responsibility and accountability. The people, that's how they will start to blame you. Always you need to remember that if you are not going to test something, so then you need to say that, hey, I'm not going to test this. Hey, this is what I'm going to test. You need to be very particular about it. So this is a life saving for us, the out of scope. So it is very clear that, boss, this is, for an example, I have land. I give a fencing for this. Means we are giving a fencing that, boss, till this point is my scope. Till this point is my land. That one is not my land. You can't go and keep the fencing in other people's land, right? The same way, this is what my scope of testing, and this is what I'm not going to test. So that is what we are going to mention in the in-scope and out-scope. You can see that, hey, generation of 176 reports, which is currently used in the production. So this is what I'm going to test. And these 176 reports are BO reports. These are the project-related informations. And what are the out of scope? But apart from this 176 reports, I'll not test any other thing reports. And apart from this one, I'm not doing any performance or regression testing of that particular BO reports. Like this, we will be mentioning that particular out of scope. Because if there is any particular impact or particular bugs are there, you will be sharing this particular test plan, and on concurrence, if you see here, everyone will sign this particular document. See, now he is the head of the department, and the delivery manager, and the project manager, and the test manager. Everyone will be signing this particular document. Now, once it is confirmed from the development manager, delivery manager, and everyone is accepted, then there is no point of to start and say that, hey, because of you how can you miss this particular bug in the production? So this is how the in-scope and out-scope will help us a lot. And the next one is the testing scope and then approach. Approach is nothing but, hey, I just wanted to test this one. Means actually in the approaches you might think about integration. So no. Integration approaches are different, and this is the test approach. Now how we are going to approach and then test this one? What is the basic objective of this particular testing? So that is what you'll be giving it. See, now my basic testing objective behind this one to validate all the reports generated, the process and the content of the reports. So because that is what my basic objective. How I'm going to test this one? I'll be automating this particular thing, and I'll be testing manually. I'll test manually like this, and then I'll convert into the automation, and this is what I'm going to test. See, I'll ask you, hey, tell me about your approach, how you will go for the Fifi Island. Okay. Hey, first I'll book my flight to Bangkok, and from Bangkok I'll take a flight for Phuket, and from the Phuket I'll take go for the Fifi Island. So now this is what your approach, right? Or else there is another approach also there. So now what I can do, I'll go for Kuala Lumpur. So from Kuala Lumpur, because the fares are very cheaper if I go for Kuala Lumpur. From Kuala Lumpur, I'll take another bus journey. So if I take that bus journey, it will take 9 hours to reach the Phuket. And from the Phuket, I'll take a ferry. And then from ferry, I'll go to Fifi Island. You see how the approaches are different. So the first approach is a little bit costlier with the complete flights. Second approach is it's a mixed of flight, bus, ferry. So now this is how the approach of reaching to that particular island will differ. Okay, bus journey, flight journey. So now that is what the approach. What is my objective? My objective of this reaching the island is my objective. When I was trying to reach the island, this is what my objective was. The same point of time. So how I'm going to reach the island is what my approach. That is what I'm going to explain here. Now, if you see here, I'm trying to explain that how I'm going to test that particular thing at a high level. Guys, just you need to give me 5 minutes of time, please. So exactly, I'll be back at 10:42. So just give me 5 minutes. Pina, just pause the recording in the meantime. So it's a small emergency. I need to come back. Just give me 2 minutes, please. Continue on this. This is about our test approach. So now that test approach will always defines you the complete the reporting structure, how we are going to test that particular application, or what is the basic objective of this particular test things. So we'll be discussing on this particular test approaches. So any questions here? Till here? So any more questions? Okay, so now the next one is the types of testing involved. Now in this particular types of testing, so now we'll be seeing it for this one. What are the different kinds of testing we'll be doing for this? So if you see here, hey, I'm doing the load and performance, no. Stress testing, no. Usability testing, no. Data verification testing, yes. Database testing, no. GUI testing, yes. So these all informations we'll be mentioning over here. Now, from where this particular checklist would be derived? From where we are going to derive this particular checklist?
Test strategy.
From the test strategy. This is what the test plan. And from where, once again, we test plan will get it. So we will be trying to derive this one from the test strategy. So already that particular test strategy will be made, so keeping that, hey, this is what our different type of testings you need to perform. So that is what we mentioned in the test strategy. So from the test strategy, we take it up, and then we will mention that, hey, this is what we are going to do it, and this is what we are not going to do it. So those all informations will be trying to do it over here. So this is how we will be preparing that. Hey, what are the different type of testings we are trying to do it? I don't know how many people know what are these particular things: load test, performance test, usability test, data verification test, database testing, GUI testing. So that's the reason we should know what are the different type of testings. So now what you are going to test. So that we wanted to mention over here. You tell me if you don't know this one. So how you will know that whether you will do this testing or not? That's why actually this is reports. That's the reason you are seeing only this. But if it is related to the UI or web, so there will a big checklist will be there. However, so we'll be mentioning this particular checklist, how we wanted to prepare this. The next one, okay, any questions in this particular testing checklist? Just this check for this particular project, I need to do the different type of tests. And every testing will have their own respective objectives, right? So that is what we are going to mention in this one. Yeah. Okay. So just tell me yes or no if you are
Yes, sir.
any
Clear.
question.
Yes, sir.
Next one. Fine. So now the next thing is the test entry or exit criteria. This is one of the most important question. But I know nowadays the people are not even bothering about it. But this is one of the most important thing. Entry criteria, exit criteria. So what do you meant by entry criteria and exit criteria? See, entry, when you need to enter for testing, and exit, when you need to come out from the testing phase. Now, we do have this particular SDLC phases, right? Now, the SDLC phases are the requirement gathering, analysis, designing, coding. And after coding, this is means we have written the unit testing and everything is done. Unit tests are passed. Then we are entering into the testing phase. Now, once after testing all, our SDLC before we draw it, right? So now all the results analysis and the closure curves, everything input given. So then it will go to the deployment. So now this is what your exit criteria. This is what your entry criteria. You are entering into the zone and you are coming out of that particular zone. When to come out that particular thing and when you are entering in. So here you are mentioning it. Application should be up and running. All the required tested data should be available. So then this is what your entry criteria and exit criteria. All my reports are successfully generated in the XLS format and all the comparisons are been completed and all the execution reports are published and validated by the development team. So this is called my, this is what my exit criteria. So when the testing is going to be completed and when the testing need to be started, that is what it defines the entry and then exit criteria. Now, test suspension and resumption. Test suspension and resumption. What do you mean by suspension?
When to stop and when to restart.
When to stop means that we have the exit criteria, right?
No, not completely stopping in between if we are facing any blocker. What kind of issues can we consider as a blocker?
Giving a pause, sir.
See, now suspension is nothing but, for an example, someone started, means for an example, a police officer is there. So now that particular police officer suspended, means he joined the job and he's doing his job and suddenly because of some reason, he has been suspended for 1 month. And once again, he will resume his job after 1 month. So this is what suspension and resumption, the difference between the entry exit criteria and suspension and resumption criteria. So now what it will be trying to say is, hey, you join your group, means you join your things and then you're going on. Suddenly, because of any particular reason, you have been suspended. And once you have been suspended, you have 1 month of suspension, and then once again you started resuming the things. So now when the testing need to be suspended, means the entry criteria started. And in middle of the end, means once we started the testing, there should be some, because of any reason. So now application is not available. You can't, see, if application itself it is not available, what else will support or whatever you test? See, when you type www.com, www.gmail.com, if the application itself it's not open, what you're going to test? Nothing going to test, right? So that is where the test will be suspended. Now, when you will be resumed, once again, when the application is up and running, then I'll start testing this one. So that is what test suspension and resumption criteria. Always you remember that entry exit criteria, test suspension and resumption criteria are most important. Okay, next one, schedule. Now, these all things are like a precautionary. We are making some plan. Hey, if at all I missed my flight, so now if I missed my connecting flight, what is my next alternative? I look by a nearby bus depot so that I can go for bus. And those are all islands, right? I need to look at some ferry point with some jetty point. So I'll go to there and then I'll get my cruise to take that one to my island. Now, how you are having the alternative options, because that's a plan B. So something is not working fine, then I need to go for plan B. So that is what here. If something is not happening, when you will be suspending your criteria, means testing, and when you will be resuming your testing, all those things would be mentioned in this test suspension criteria. So that is how your exit and entry criteria and test suspension and resumption criteria will be defined. Next one, schedule. First thing you will be doing it, right? Hey, what are the dates I have? Hey, first I'll look after my calendar, and then I'll think that, hey, at least I'll take 2 days like this, so Saturday, Sunday, and then if I start on Thursday, my flight ticket would be less. And if I come back on Tuesday, my flight ticket would be less. So I'll not plan on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays because my flight ticket is more. So what I'll try to do, I'll do it on Thursday to Tuesday or Wednesday because my flight tickets would be cheaper. So now what you're doing? For 5 days. So now how the 5 days would be? One day I'll go for island hopping, and one day I'll be doing all the sea sports, and one day I'll do the scuba diving. So now you plan something, right? So now that is what the schedule. So now this particular project, so now first day I wanted to test all these particular database testings, and I do have, how many people I have? 3 people are there. For 3 people, 176 reports means 176 divided by 3. So how many reports I can have it, and how I need to do it. So do it, means how to estimate and how to derive this one. So that is altogether a separate topic, which is called test estimations. So test estimations is also known as LOE, level of efforts. Okay, test estimation or level of efforts. Both of the things are same. Okay, so now this is what how much means. This defines us the schedule time, means how many people need to work on it, and by what time it need to be started, and what time it would be ended. All those informations we will be just predicting and then planning over here. Means we'll be saying it, right? Hey, I need to reach the island on that date on this particular time so that I can get my ferry, so that I can go, and the next day I'll do this, next day I'll